It involves his middle finger, but we'll get to that. From Prairie 2, the big headline on the corporate news this morning was that gasoline is near an all-time record high. It is, in fact, still well short of the price peak from before the Bush crash. They run through a list of possible causes, like the rising price of crude oil, but oops, oil isn't anywhere near its high and is going down. Refinery shutdowns, that's another excuse. Never mind that we export 30% of refinery capacity. China is using more oil. Well, we'll come back to that. And oh yeah, speculators. Do we need to go through that one again? Wall Street makes a ton of money driving up the price of gasoline. They make money when it goes down, too. Wild price swings allow the Wall Street banks to sell derivatives contracts based on the futures price to the tune of hundreds of trillions of dollars in order to shave hundreds of billions of dollars from the economy without doing anything or even putting up much money themselves. Did I mention that the Dodd-Frank Act made this illegal? There's been a small problem with enforcement of the Dodd-Frank Act because Republicans are blocking the rules it would take to actually enforce the act. It's the sort of so-called decriminalization that has been en vogue ever since Reagan began dismantling the New Deal. Let's go back to China. The People's Republic now owns outright enough oil production outside its borders to rival the United Arab Emirates and match that of Kuwait. They don't really loan money to the U.S. to finance the debt like conservatives constantly chant. They spend their U.S. dollars buying up real wealth everywhere and anywhere that they can. Not that they're really driving up the price of gas. Crude oil is, in fact, going down. China actually sells most of its foreign oil rather than shipping it back to China. It's just flexing muscle in the markets. China continues to enjoy a rate of growth year in and year out that the U.S. hasn't seen since the New Deal was fully in effect. China does this pretty much by following FDR's policies. The U.S. instead continues to favor Reaganomics while we decline into third world status. We give a huge slice off the top of our economy to the extremely wealthy in return for them selling our wealth creating capacity to China. Anybody in China who gets caught engaging in the sort of traitorous behavior that is routine business here can expect to be shot and his organs sold. But hey, they're communists. And they are kicking our ass at capitalism. We are the capitalists that believe in Reaganomics, also known as the cult of economic royalty, and we also believe in the creation of poor people, the one thing we're still good at. There are 400 million middle-class people in China, more people than we have in our entire population. There are more English speakers in China than in the United States. They graduate twice as many engineers every year as the U.S. does. They have thousands of miles of 250-mile-per-hour high-speed rail, and we have, well, none. They launch astronauts into space. We don't. Their economy is about to become the biggest in the world, while ours barely holds its own. I get email from conservatives pointing out that they steal our technology. Sure they do. But mostly they just buy it cheap from U.S. companies. We could learn from China, except they are copying us. We just don't learn from our own experience. We believe the right-wing talking points instead. Prairie2.com. If I got an email earlier this evening from somebody who was concerned about the inaction of most of us who claim to be left or democratic left or democratic socialist or social democrats or full-blown liberals or FDR liberals or whatever we are. And I wrote back and said, there is, and I believe this, I really believe this, there is nothing any longer that we can do within the system. Do you agree? The system has been so rigged. I mean, I laugh when I hear Just one quick example. When Obama said that, this country is designed so that any child who wants to be president has the chance of growing to become president. That's nonsense. That's total nonsense. It's not even partly true anymore. It's not even in the realm of true anymore. And I said in the email, I think what we have to give up is hope and start figuring out a way to change this system from without, because you and I'm sorry, this is a fact, cannot change the system from within. That should be just clear as rainwater right now.